Hello, lovelies. Happy first day of Vlogmas. We are doing the Authortube Advent Calendar prompts. And the first one for day one is Mother and Cookies. And I have an excerpt to read to you from Red Velvet and Anemones. Millie is decorating cookies for the Christmas holidays after getting some very sad news. Millie had to laugh at her enthusiasm. "You can eat as many as you want, and even take one to Willow. Promise I'll make more. Now run upstairs or you'll miss the stories." Grace pocketed an extra cookie. "I know them all. Some day I'm going to turn them into a book for Miss Elizabeth. Bye, Miss Millie." She smiled as she watched the dark-haired girl hurl herself up the stairs, two at a time. She turned back to put more cookies on the plate when the monitor made a hum and beeped. Millie's breath caught in her throat as she pushed on Charlie. The beeping stopped, and she choked out a sigh of relief. "Hang in there, baby boy. You can do it. We can beat the odds. You'll be just fine." Millie lied to herself and rubbed the tears that she refused to let fall from her eyes. She eased herself down in a chair and stared at the gingerbread nativity on the desk. She tried not to think about what it meant every time the monitor beeped. As long as it stopped beating, it was fine. Charlie's heartbeat kept going. It would be fine. For the rest of the week, "It's fine" became Millie's mantra. Two words she breathed and lived by as her heart begged for the healing of Charlie. She was a good person. She had suffered enough. It was her turn to be blessed. And it was Christmas, a time for miracles. On Christmas Eve, Millie carefully arranged the iced shortbread cookies the church ladies' auxiliary had ordered for the evening service on several large trays. She had made almost 200 more than the needed to make the 1,200 she brought tonight. She wanted them all to be perfect. Mrs. Wallace and Mrs. McDonald had oohed and awed over the blue and white iced stars, each cookie covered with two colors of flares and swirls, dots and loops. The filigree work had taken a long time. The six-pointed stars looked more like abstract snowflakes or quilted ornaments than cookies. They were art, her art, but they were also an offering, each made with a prayer for her son, while she ignored the inevitable of Charlie's medical diagnosis. Truthfully, Millie was grateful for the work to keep her mind off the fact that her baby's heart monitor was now beeping more and more frequently. Any time his heartbeat became erratic, it beeped. Millie knew what was coming, knew it and refused to admit it, or her fears. She may hate her husband, Edgar, but she wanted Charlie to live the way she had wanted her little brother Duran to live when she had run away from their mother Diva, trying to save him. She prayed for a Christmas miracle, and she felt like she probably wouldn't get such grace, no matter how hard she prayed, no matter how many cookies she made. "They look like art, Miss Millie, and smell good enough to eat." Beau Wallace smiled down at her. with Grandpa Ben standing beside him. She felt like she had moved into the land of giants. Millie looked around quickly, then broke one in half, faking mischief with a smile. Oops! Would you mind eating the evidence of my clumsiness? She handed over the cookie pieces. Grandpa Ben laughed and took the half of a star. His eyes lit up with pleasure as he took a bite. The flavors of vanilla, butter, and sugar melted on his tongue as he bit the crisp cookie. They're delicious. Come, Miss Millie. Doreen sent us to find you. Emily is in the nursery, and we would like it if you and Mrs. Robinson sat with us. Millie could only nod and take the offered arm with a shy smile. They made her feel so welcome while she missed her parents. Christmas Mass had always been their thing. As they sat down, Millie asked to sit on the end, pleading pregnancy bladder. But it really was so she could leave if Charlie's monitor went off. It had beeped too many times today. Watching the children reenact the Christmas story was sweetly touching, but halfway through, Charlie's monitor beeped. Millie tapped the silence and slipped out. Just as her hand pulled the door, she was startled by a young girl shouting at the top of her lungs, "Fear not." And that is the reading section that I picked for Mother and Cookies for the first day of Vlogmas, using the prompts for the Authortube Advent Calendar. I'll get these words out. Still working on being a writer. Thank you for listening. Be blessed and have a lovely day.